Welcome back to Bestie Breakdown, New York City edition. We have Kalen. Welcome to the pod.
What's up? How you feeling?
Your Instagram is your over 1 million followers. Your career has absolutely skyrocketed. So I'm going to start us off with a tough question.
Okay.
What's been the highlight of your career so far?
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. I've done so much. I would actually say in a more umbrella kind of way of answering that question. I think the highest thing in my career is the fact that I've been able to do a lot of the stuff that I dreamt of doing, like movies and TV shows and stuff like that. You know, I think at the beginning when I was just doing food reaction videos, I was a little nervous that I was going to get stuck doing that. And people weren't going to take me serious and wouldn't let me act anymore because that's what I went to school for. So I think the fact that that has served as a gateway and I've been able to do Netflix movies and, you know, all that kind of stuff is probably the best part of it all.
If you weren't in this world, what do you think you would be doing?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I think if I wasn't in this, I probably would be creative directing a theater or something like that. You know, I think I would have always stayed in the realm of entertainment.
I could see
it would have just been in a different type of way. Or even if I would have been working at an ad agency, you know, I think that's where a lot of my creativeness comes from. Because my mother used to be a human resources specialist at an ad agency that handled ads like Sprint and stuff like that. And so I would go to work with her a lot and go to the creative department and walk around and see how they were, you know, designing ads. So I think I probably would have, you know, remained in that area.
Yeah. So I first discovered you through your food reaction videos as well. I always feel before Ellen, before everyone, I feel like I was maybe one of the first people. I'm sure that's not true, but I do feel that way. I wanted to ask, have you ever been DM'd by someone that you've reacted to being offended or upset?
One time there was the lady about some chicken and stuff like that.
Some fried chicken?
Like that. But you know what's so funny about that? It may actually be a lot of reason why, because I really it would be easy for me to do them now. That would be an easy cash grab. It'd be very just, you know, second nature for me. But I think especially when you have social apps like Twitter and stuff like that nowadays, when I get on social media, I'm always in a space of being I feel like everybody, all we do is complain.
Yeah.
I'm just everything, there's a problem with everything. What do you like? Is there anything that makes you happy instead of always having to pick everything apart? And I think that's a big part of why I don't like doing the food videos, because I'm I don't care. I don't really care that much, you know, anymore. I think at first it was just for fun. I don't think even, because I think I even realized that when people would come up and talk to me, or when I would go to restaurants and people would be oh, are you going to talk about the food? Are you going to react to us? And I'd be I really don't care that much. You know what I mean? It was just for fun for me. And so I think I have gotten a lot of feedback from people from earlier videos, and I kind of just be it's just a joke. It's not that serious.
Right. I do have to ask, though, do you eat at other people's houses? Because
no, I don't. Now, that is very true for me. It's so funny. I was thinking about this yesterday because, you know, Memorial Day and stuff like that. I will cook today. But I was just I don't know what it is. I cannot eat at other folks' houses. Oh, I saw it was a food video on TikTok of somebody seasoning their chicken, and it was still in the the package that you buy the chicken in. Ooh. And the juices are running on the bottom. Gross. The little tampon pad is on the bottom of the styrofoam. No. I was see, this is why you can't eat at everybody's house, because I just can't trust that. And sometimes I look at it and I'm I'm not eating that.
After I've seen reels of people throwing chicken and stuff in a dirty sink, I'm in the same boat. I can't fucking do it.
Yeah, permanently not attending the potluck.
Yeah, no
potlucks. Don't bring even. I don't eat at potlucks either. I will gladly order me something off of Uber Eats and have it there. Be no, don't worry, I brought my lunch today. It's okay.
You don't know what's going on at people's houses. I was just telling Chris, so my son just graduated first grade, and they had a cake decorating contest. My toddler helped make it, so there was a lot of slobber involved in this cake. And I thought they were just for show. And then I start seeing them starting giving them away as prizes, so I grabbed my cake real quick and just took it off the table, because I was whoa, I thought this was for show. But imagine I wasn't there and someone took home that cake.
Slobber cake.
Yeah, exactly. Totally.
That's nasty.
Yeah. I mean, I did the right thing.
You did the right thing. You got the cake.
You did.
Imagine you didn't, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't want to risk it.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah, no thank you. People be having their dogs and their cats walking on their counters and stuff. You ever seen them videos where people be making stuff and the dog is like sitting there licking the exit? Are you crazy?
No.
Like, what the hell? No, this is not Animal Planet, okay?
True.
Animal Planet.
Absolutely not.
I have to ask because I discovered you on Ellen. Biggest fucking fan of Ellen here, and my mom as well. And that's where I discovered you. How did you get on that show? And like how did all that happen?
Well, she saw the video. So the first video was made in November of 2017. And then she saw the video and she told the producers that she wanted me to be on the show.
That's amazing.
And I know. So then I taped that first episode in December of 2017. And then I was moving to Los Angeles in January. So it happened in a matter of 4 months. But it just happened by accident, honestly, because like even the videos, like I said, they were just for fun. It was never like I want to be a YouTuber or I want to be a reactor. It was just like I'm just gonna post these videos for my little following, my friends, and maybe they'll laugh and think it's funny. And then I wasn't expecting it to blow up the way that it did. But once I got the call, I was like, hell yeah, I was a senior in college. You know what I mean? I was like, I need a job. You know, it's like graduation is in May and I ain't trying to be out here broke and struggling. So I was like, okay, Ellen, where's the contract? Yeah. Let's go. I know I accepted the job on the show without even getting the contract yet. I was just like, yep, let's do it.
So did she call you? She call you up or what?
Well, it was a producer, of course, you know, talk show. So it was a producer that reached out, and then like I did like a little interview on like Skype, I think at that time, because Zoom didn't exist. Right. So I think it was on Skype. So I did Skype, and then it was just a couple weeks later, and they called me and said, okay, we want to fly you to LA. I think it was like December 13th or something like that. And then that's what it was. Boom, bam, diggity.
That is so fun.
That is crazy. So before we get more into the Ellen Show and kind of your journey from there, I want to ask kind of what brought you to New York?
Yeah.
Well, I've always wanted to live in New York, even when I was in school. So, well, actually, funny story is when I was graduating high school, I went to school in Kansas City. I had all these schools. I had the big old box that I had all my schools in. Every mail thing that I got or information packet I kept, and I organized them by state, right? And the biggest slot was New York because my dream school was NYU. I wanted to go to NYU so bad. And this is the only time in my life that I've ever doubted myself. And I didn't apply because I didn't think I was going to get in. And I had a full ride scholarship to anywhere in the United States. So I could have applied, got in, and went and been able to pay for it. Like, that was not an issue. It was just that I got nervous, and I don't know why. That's the only time I was there, but I'm thinking it was because it was meant to be. And so then I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't move to New York right now. Maybe I need like a happy medium. I said, well, what's close to New York that's a little calmer but still has that big city feel? I was like, okay, Philadelphia. So then I ended up going to Temple University. So while I was at Temple, then the whole Ellen thing happened. So then I moved to Los Angeles. And then when I found out that Ellen was ending, I was like, okay.
So sad.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, it's time for me to go, trying to figure out what's next. You know what I mean? Now, just like the food videos, those happen by me seeing a video on the internet and being like, I should watch this, right? So when I was still in LA, and it was also, the first video I ever did was the gentrified cornbread, and it was a sponsored ad, right? So while I was in LA, a sponsored ad came up again, and it was for NYU, and that they had an online journalism program. And I was just like, this must be another sign.
Meant to be.
So I applied, I got in. So now I'm at NYU getting my master's in journalism, but that's in New York. And then I also started doing Food Network, and Food Network is also headquartered in New York. And I was just like, clearly something is drawing me to New York. Like both of these opportunities don't require me to be in New York, but the fact that New York is popping up all of a sudden is a sign that I need to move. And so I packed up all my stuff and I drove all the way across the country, and New York is now my new home, and I love every bit of it. I didn't like LA that much, so.
Really?
Okay. Why is that?
Yeah.
Well, I think everybody in LA works in the industry, and
pretends to.
Yes,
Yeah.
or pretends to.
There you go.
Or pretends to. And you kind of just live the same day every single day. You know, there's no season, so it's just like you just in a cycle. And I got tired of that, you know, and I got tired of all the ass kissing and people just want to know where you work and what you do and trying to see how they can get up in the world and all the parties. That's just not who I am, you know. And I think a lot of my content and comedy and who I am is derived from the everyday person. And I wanted to just be around everyday regular people again, you know. So I was just like, yeah, New York is a melting pot of culture where there's always something to do. I got so bored in LA. It's like you either shop, eat, or go to a Hollywood party. Like, that's all it is, you know. And so I was just like, I want to be able to wake up and feel the energy of New York City, to get up and go and make dreams happen and feel like anything is possible. And I think New York feels magical to me.
Yeah,
I definitely get
hustle and bustle.
I definitely get that energy. My first time being here, I can feel that. Yeah, for sure.
So speaking of not normal people, you met you met Oprah.
Yes.
That must have been is that a highlight for you?
Oh, absolutely.
She said, you're so funny. I would have died if I was you. Yeah.
But he is so funny.
Oh, but to hear it from Oprah is like just another level.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's so funny about that? So I would probably say my top 3 are Oprah Winfrey, Michelle Obama, and Beyonce. You know what I mean? And the fact that when I met all 3 of those people, that they immediately knew who I was. I think in times that I've had imposter syndrome or that I felt like I wasn't good enough, or that maybe I was, you know, just reaching to a dead end, you know what I mean? Yep. I remind myself of those moments to kind of just, you know, let myself know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. 100%. Like, there's a reason why I'm here and I got here this way. You know what I mean? And it also helps me to be able to dream bigger and to want more, especially when it's like 3 people that have achieved the unimaginable. You know what I mean? Is that I no longer think that anything is impossible. And I'm always just focused on, you know, the big point. I think also the way that I've been aligned with so many talk show hosts. You talk about Oprah Winfrey, Ellen DeGeneres, Ricky Lake, you know what I mean? And the fact that I have been able to encounter like iconic talk show hosts, not just people that just do a show.
Rachel Ray.
You know, oh my God, not Rachel Ray. but like it's the fact that it's them specifically. I think I accept that as another sign that this is the journey I'm supposed to be on.
Do you find it inspiring to kind of be in that world and people who've made it to the top of their careers? Like, has that just driven you even more?
Absolutely. You know, I feel as though in a way it's like me feeling as though I need to exceed their expectations. You know, I need to prove something to them. I need to show them that I can be everything that they have said that I am and more, you know?
Right. At this point, is there anyone that you would like to meet or that you've looked up to that you haven't had the opportunity to meet yet? You're like, oh no.
I'm like, I've met a lot.
Have you met Obama?
No.
I would love to meet him.
Yeah, I would too. I think yes. I think I'm just more like, I'd be more excited to meet Michelle than
Agree. I feel the same way. Yeah, totally.
You know? I don't know what me and Barack Obama would talk about. I feel like it would just be very like high and by. You know what I mean? Like that's what it feels like to me. But of course, I would love to meet him. I'm trying to think of who else, because I met Mariah Carey. That would have been my next. This is hard. Hold on. It's going to come to me.
After the show, you're going to be like, why the fuck didn't I say this?
I know, right? I would think of somebody. Oh, I know I met her. I was thinking maybe like Celine Dion or somebody.
That's
like
a
that,
great
you know?
one.
Yes. You know? Yeah.
I haven't met her, but she touched my hand at a concert.
Oh, look at that. Well, technically you met her.
Yeah.
Your hand did.
Yeah, exactly. It counts.
I heard she's not going on tour anymore, so sad.
Yeah, she's sick.
Yeah, she has some illnesses and
horrible.
things like that.
Yeah, that happens. You know, that's the unfortunate thing about, you know, getting older. But the fortunate thing is that, especially with her career, it's like you've already created a legacy that will withstand even you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's like when you'll be gone and people will still sing your songs, that like think about like Whitney Houston, you know what I mean? Or Aretha Franklin. It's like, yeah, like your body may not be here, but your voice and your spirit and your art will remain till the end of time.
Totally.
That is a magical thing. So since we are in New York, I have to ask, I'm such a big Sex and the City fan.
Oh,
I always channel that energy.
I know that's right.
Yeah. Are you a fan?
Oh, you know it, baby.
Okay. Which one would you say is most like your personality?
Oh, now this is hard. This is a hard one. But, well, are we talking about their characters in Sex and the City or their characters in And Just Like That? Because they're
I'm going to get to the reboot, but just the original.
The original? Okay. Then I say I'm probably more of a Samantha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. And what do we think about the reboot?
Actually, no, I take that back. I would be more of a Miranda.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't see that.
Really? I'm very business oriented. You know, Samantha was very like free spirit, and I don't think that's
but
me.
She
really.
was a
but
powerhouse.
A boss. Yes. So like, if I probably a happy medium between them two.
Okay. What do you think of the reboot?
I love the reboot.
You do.
I do. Now, of course, everybody has notes. I have notes.
Okay.
But for the most part, I'm obsessed with it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to an event next week for it, you know, with Vogue and stuff like that. And like, I've watched every episode. I couldn't wait for it to come out. My critique about it is that I think some with the first season, which I actually kind of feel like the second season is going to be a little different. I think the promos from what I've seen has already starting to feel like the OG show. And I think they may have taken a lot of the criticism and made some changes. My real critique is that it felt as though it was too on the nose. Like it was too much trying to like adhere to what Twitter would say. You know what I mean? And there were things that were just like, that's not why we watch the show. You know what I mean? It's like, I kind of want to see, like, my biggest problem is the fact that Carrie is still figuring it out. I don't agree with that, especially when, like, the movies, like, she's the best-selling author and all this stuff is going out. Like, if anything, Carrie would have, like, the #1 podcast in New York. She would have figured out how to turn it around. She wouldn't still be, like, now trying to be a guest on somebody else's podcast because she, you know, isn't writing books or books aren't selling anymore or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think she would have been able, especially she was working at Vogue. You know what I mean? Like, she would have figured it out.
Sure. I think some of the critique from like my mom's friends that are more in that age group is that they aged them so much.
I agree that they just look old.
Yeah, and just like some of the conversation they're having, like my mom's friends, they could get down. They're out having drinks, they're having fun. Like,
well, even when I say like they look old, it's like when I see them in other stuff. Like when I saw Cynthia Nixon in Gilded Age, I was like, she doesn't look like this in Just Like That. She looks younger in Gilded Age, and she like it felt like they were pushing the old.
Yes.
You know, when it was just like, I don't care. We know how old they are. Yeah. I want to see them at that age, you know, living their best lives in New York City, especially if you live in New York City, you've been around some of the most fiercest people in the city are the older individuals. Like, look at like Jane Fonda, look at Diane Keaton. Like, these are some fierce older women. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want to see from them.
And they look great.
And look great.
Yeah.
Totally. Oh my God. Should we get back to Ellen?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Run it back.
Oh my God. So were there any crazy stories about working with Ellen? Like, behind the scenes, like anything wild? Like, what was the most craziest thing you did while working?
I think the craziest thing I ever did while working there was the Britney Spears thing. I think that was the most interesting thing because Britney came on the show and announced that, you know, she was doing this residency. And then for the first time, they wanted Ellen's YouTube to go live. And they were like, Kalen, will you go and host this announcement? And I was in Vegas and I was like, okay, sure. Now, at this point, I didn't know anything about Britney Spears. Like, didn't know Jack Diddley Squirrel. And I was told at that time that Mario Lopez would be the host and that I would just throw the stuff every now and then, right? Well, right before we did it, apparently Mario broke his foot.
Oh, shit.
So he was in a boot. And so we got there and he didn't want to stand on it for long periods of time. So then it actually kind of became more me hosting it and me just faking it till I made it because clearly, like I said, I didn't know anything about Britney. And then if you watch the Hulu documentary, like I'm in it because she comes out of the stage and walks down, gives me a hug, gets in the car and leaves. And of course, now we know so much more about that moment and what was going on. Yeah. But at that time, and it's so funny because people will always ask, like they'll be like, give us the tea on that. And as if I have more information, I'm like, I was as confused as everybody else. I did not know what was happening. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was just doing the job that I was told to do. Yep. So I think that's probably one of the most interesting. I mean, I've had times where I got stuck in mud and had to be carried out by somebody. You know, we went to Myrtle Beach and was going around in a speedboat and they didn't tell us it was going to be a speedboat. So, you know, there's been all types of crazy things and I miss it so much because the fun that we had at that show was just like next level, the things that I got to do and experience. And, you know, we went to Australia and filmed a segment. Like, who gets to say that was the part of their normal job? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I always wondered, like, why my parents figure out that I was gay sooner. I used to watch the Ellen show as like a little kid. I love that.
You were tapped in. I love that.
Tapped in.
I guess if we're going to talk about Ellen, I do have to ask, there were a lot of accusations about a toxic work environment. Some of the guests had some negative stories. Kind of, did you ever see or feel that energy at all working there?
I just don't believe it.
Well, I think this is the tricky part about it. I think for me, one is that my position at the show was so drastically different from everybody else's because I was talent. You know, I was the first talent there. And also me and her had a personal relationship. You know what I mean? So that's also different. For me, I very much like just came in, did my job, and went home. You know, I wasn't there all the time, you know. But, I mean, was it a tough place to work? Yes, because it was at that time, such at the height of all talk shows and the output and stuff like that, you know? And so I think with any job, I think, yeah, it can be tough, and I think people can have their own experience. I don't say that everybody's experience is wrong, you know what I mean? I also think it's whatever you think you're going to get out of it, you know what I mean? And how you approach this situation, or when you walk in, what are you expecting this celebrity to, you know, treat you or something like that? Are you expecting them to acknowledge, you know, or something like that? And I don't know if everybody goes in it with that perspective without feeling some like deep connection to the place or the person or wanting to get a lot out of it. You know what I mean? But I don't ever want to tell somebody that their experience isn't real for them or what they have done. And I also don't believe that anybody is above critique.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. I saw on your Instagram that you just announced you're part of a new show. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I just signed on to do a Celebrity Family Cook-Off. I think that's the name of the show.
yeah, that is what it is.
Yeah, it's great. Wonderful. For Roku channel. Which is being executive produced by Sofia Vergara. So I'm very excited for that because it's also hosted by her son. And so we are going to be basically having celebrities come and with their families and have to cook against each other. So I'm very excited to film that. It'll be my first time doing a very celebrity focused show. And I think sometimes those can be a little bit more fun than, you know, the everyday person because you get to have a little bit more freedom because you aren't taking it as serious as like doing Food Network shows, you know, where these are real chefs and you really got to judge their food, you know. So I think I will enjoy the lightheartedness of it.
Well, congratulations. When do you guys start filming, and do you have a release date yet?
So we start filming it in the next couple months. I want to say maybe August or something like that. Now, there is no release date, so I'm sure it depends on how long it takes to do post, you know.
Okay, awesome. I'm really excited to see it.
I am too.
Really excited.
It'll be fun. Where is it filmed? Is it in New York?
We film in LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I'll be in LA doing that.
I can't wait to go to LA.
Are you gonna keep your place here?
Well, yeah, I'll only be there for like 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, not bad.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, so that's the good thing about shows.
So definitely gonna keep your place here.
I'm not moving, people. I'm just gonna go do that little cute little show, and I'm gonna bring my tail back home.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, are you still besties with Ellen?
Yeah, we talk all the time.
Do you go to her house?
I've never been to her house.
Okay.
She's got a lot of houses, I hear.
Well,
I think so. I think so, but she did have a house. In Montecito, but I know they filmed a lot during the pandemic up there.
Yes.
Yeah, but then, you know, I left. So, like, then I've never been, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ellen.
I know you're a fan of Bridgerton.
Yeah.
But what are your 3 top favorite TV shows?
Ooh, okay. All right, well, so I just watched the season finale of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and I cried my eyes out. I have enjoyed watching that character through all these seasons, just and finally seeing the redemption at the end. So that's definitely a top one for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do love Yellow Jackets.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm like, okay, it's getting a little crazy now. You know, we a little off the rails. But I do like Yellow Jackets, and I do love Ted Lasso.
Okay.
Those are probably my top 3 at the moment.
Any reality TV shows?
No, I don't watch any reality TV.
None of the love shows?
Nope.
Oh,
I know, it's kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
I don't, maybe because I think it takes too much investment from me. And I think I don't know, or maybe it's just the actor in me. Is that I prefer to watch things that I can like watch how somebody develops a character or their acting choices. And the reality shows, I'm kind of like, okay. Now, I did love back in the day like trashy reality. Like I loved Flavor of Love. I loved all those shows. Like I Love New York. Like I was zoned in on those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you were approached for like Celebrity Big Brother, would that be a pass?
Oh no, I would do it.
Okay.
Now I watched the first season of Celebrity Big Brother, and I watched those. Like those kind of shows, I like competition stuff. I do every now and then tap in or see it every now and then. I would do that though.
So you wouldn't rule it out. You wouldn't rule it out to go
No.
on. Yeah. Okay. Good. Interesting. I would love to see you on it. By the way.
Yeah. I
it would be
that.
fun.
I would
be
do that.
Fun. It
Yeah.
would definitely be fun. So you would never go on like a Netflix Love Is Blind show if
No.
it was like never.
No,
Never.
I don't trust love shows as a contestant really.
Okay.
Mainly because I'm just like I feel like it's just for fame. I'm just like, how are you falling in love
But
on this
some
show?
of those people actually fell in love. Well, from what I've seen, I don't know.
It's giving package deal, giving PR.
Okay. Fair enough.
That is fair.
Yeah.
All I know is I would go on if there was a gay one for sure. It'd be a
Okay.
lot of fun.
Okay. Did you ever watch Finding Prince Charming?
No.
Oh, that was a good one.
Was that the one where they told the girls that it was Prince Harry?
No.
Okay.
This was the gay version of The Bachelor. It was like a
Oh.
logo. Yeah, back in the day. Mm-hmm.
That sounds like it's right up our alley.
I would watch that.
Yeah, it was good.
What the hell happened to it? It
good.
get canceled?
Yeah. They only had one season. Damn. Crazy.
So speaking of love, what's your current situation?
Are you dating?
No. It is
Are you
not
on the apps?
existent. No.
Are you on Raya?
No, not really. I mean, I have apps like I have Hinge and Bumble and all those, but I don't really use them. I don't know. I'm very picky about my energy and my space, and I'm also not the type of person like I'm highly independent. And I know there are a lot of people that are their like coping mechanisms for trauma and like getting through is like, you know, instant gratification and just hooking up or, you know, becoming somebody's man just so that they can have somebody for a while. And I think I used to be like that. I think ever since, you know, I've been working in the industry, that's kind of faded away only because I don't believe that everybody deserves access to me in my everyday life. You know what I mean? And so I think I'm a lot more selective. And I think for me, it's like I'm so protective over my energy that I only want somebody in it that's worth it.
Totally.
You know, that feels like they are going to pour into me at least the same amount that I'm going to pour into them. And unfortunately, that is very not likely. You know, I've become very stable and comfortable in who I am at a very young age. So
Right.
That's totally true. As we get older, the energy around people, it's just like, you don't want like bad energy.
yeah,
It's just a thing.
ain't nobody got time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When you kind of look forward, what does your happily ever after look like? Does that include a partner and maybe a family? Or would you be happy to like jet around and do your own thing? What does that look like for you?
No, I think it definitely is with a partner. I think I definitely want a family. I know I want kids. You know, I want to definitely drive the kids to soccer practice and do all that. You know what I mean? But I think that also comes a lot from me growing up in Kansas. You know, I think I appreciate a lot more of the simple things in life, even though it may not appear that way.
Right.
But I think I do. And I think in big picture, it's like me having a job that is so stable that I get to do every single day. Like people that like Gayle King working on CBS this morning, or, you know, Robin working on GMA, like having such a solid job that I do this same job every single day. It still comes with all the perks. I still get to amplify and write books and do movies and do series, but I have this concrete, stable job that is providing for me and my family. And I get to go to work, and I get to come home, and I get to spend time with my kids, and I get to, you know, create a world and life with them.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. That makes sense. On your rise to the top, have you kind of lost friends along the way? Everyone kind of has a story like that. So.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. It's funny because, you know, when I first started, everybody was always like, don't forget the little people or don't change, right? And what I tell people about that is that it's actually not those of us that work in the industry. Some people do change, but when my experience, everybody else around me changed. You know what I mean? Or you learn that intentions aren't as grounded as you expected them to be, you know, or or everybody expects you to say yes all the time because you can, and then as soon as you say no, then you're the bad guy. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, I think because of that experience, I think that's why I am also, I keep a lot of barriers up, you know, to not let people get too close until I know that I can truly trust them. You know what I mean? Because yeah, you get a lot of people that just want to leech onto you for whatever reason.
Yeah, that must be draining.
Yeah,
but I mean, it comes with the territory. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you kind of just, when you choose to work in this industry, you just have to accept everything that comes with it, because that's not something that's necessarily going to change. Just means you got to, you know, pay a little bit more attention.
Yeah, makes sense.
Very true. So did Oprah actually follow you for 1 minute? I need to ask that because she did.
Yes, that actually it was an accident.
It was an accident.
Well, Oprah only follows like her own pages, like Oprah Daily and stuff like that. I think like Weight Watchers and stuff like that. Just partnership with them, you know. So it's just like that's all she follows. And yes, it was an accidental follow that I did catch, and then it was gone. And I was just like, doesn't matter. That just means that I got the follow, even if it was just for 5 seconds. Lindsay Lohan does follow me, though.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What the fuck? You should reach back out to Oprah. Be like, yo, just follow me.
I know. It's okay, girl. It's okay. I get it, girl. You was scrolling too fast, girl.
She's great.
So some hot topics. Harry and Meghan claim to have had a 2-hour car chase here in New York. And people are saying, especially people from New York, are like, there's no way.
How the hell? In traffic?
Yeah, 2-hour car. They called it a near catastrophic car chase. And people are saying this is a PR stunt. There's no way in New York traffic that you could be like zooming all around the city.
I don't know if that's true. I think it depends on what time. And it also depends on what part of the city you're in. You know, I think if you're in like Times Square, and you're talking to somebody that drives in New York all the time.
You do.
Know, I have a car.
Did you drive here today?
No, I didn't drive today. But I do have a car. Well, I didn't drive today because it's Memorial Day, and I knew that there was going to be no parking, especially downtown, because we're downtown. So there's only like federal cars can park down here.
Gotcha.
So it all depends on where I'm going. But see, like that's what I'm saying. It's like it depends on where you are and what time of day it is. You know, for instance, like if it's a Sunday and it's before like 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock, there's plenty of space. There's like no cars outside. You know what I mean? So it is possible depending on where you are, and also depends on what the paparazzi were they in a car. I don't see many paparazzi in New York on cars, you know, but so it's like were they in a car or were they on a bike? You know what I mean? So it's just like there are ways. And from the video, like from the Netflix documentary, there was another time that they were being followed or whatever, you know, and it's just like they usually stop at the red light, and then that's when they trying to take pictures and stuff like that. So I do think it's possible. You know?
So you think there could be some truth to that story?
Well, another reason why I say that is true is like, look at how Princess Diana died. You know, it's like, and that was in Paris. Paris also has bad traffic. You know what I mean? And they drive crazy in Paris. So it's just like, I think anything is possible. And I also don't see the need for a PR stunt.
From them.
Them.
Yeah.
Like, it's Harry and Meghan. Are you kidding me? Like, they can't go anywhere without paparazzi. Yeah. We all know how the British pops are. You know, like, they're crazy. So it's just like, it's especially when you aren't seen often. You know, it's like, yeah, one side of you, we're on it. You know what I mean? I just don't see the need for it.
I saw your tribute to Twitch on Instagram. The whole world was obviously so devastated. You more so. I'm sure you knew him personally. I wanted to ask what his friendship meant to you, or if you have a happier memory you could share.
Oh, wow. Well, I think, one, for me and Twitch, so like, for instance, Twitch's first time on the show, well, his first time guest hosting, I was his DJ.
Yes.
Then when I guest hosted, he was my DJ. And I think at the show specifically, we were like this. Mainly because, one, we were both talent there. And one, we were both black. You know what I mean? And so we were able to understand each other in ways that other people couldn't. I think we were also both figuring out what our bigger picture was, what we wanted outside of the show and what that needed to look like. You know what I mean? And so when everything happened, it was devastating to me, especially, for instance, like once I moved to New York, and when Twitch would come to New York, he would text me and we would go to lunch or go to dinner and stuff like that. And it was just hard because, you know, we'll never know what leads to that. But it's like when you think about working in this industry and the uncertainty of it and just how tough it can be, and then just also how hard life is in general. You know, it is unfortunate that sometimes life can get the better of some people, especially people that deserve so much and deserve the world. And I think that's hard. And I think the way that I choose, especially when it comes to my career and what I do in my life, is that I just try to live out every dream and aspiration, even for those that never got the chance to, or for or even for those that didn't think that they deserved to even dream that big. You know what I mean? And so I think that's how I choose to let his memory play out within me.
That's really beautiful. We wanted to thank you so much for taking the time to come on the pod today.
Of course.
This has been so fun. Yeah. And congratulations on everything. We can't wait to see the new show and just everything you're doing.
So excited.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.